Music is the music I choose to do is not a downhill thing. It's like uphill. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard work to get people to hear and to make a decent amount of living. I do music full time, and that's why I teach too. And it's like, it can be it's not easy doing this kind of music. It's like, you know, it's there's less people that's not the mainstream kind of stuff. So it's not really, I'm not gonna say it's a hurdle, but it's not a downhill thing. It's a roller coaster ride.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I'm very excited because I have Mr. Mike Campese here with me today, and he is an awesome guitar player. I got to listen to his latest stuff and was blown away. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to let him kind of tell a little bit more about himself, and then we'll just have a great conversation after that. So, Mike, tell us about you.
Uh, well, I mean, how far back do you want to go? Do you just want to just talk about in general, like playing guitar since I was 13 years old?
There you go.
I started taking lessons with a jazz teacher. Um, Basically my influence, I was a big Black Sabbath freak when I was a kid, like that got me hooked. Like the first Black Sabbath album was the album that got me hooked to guitar. And my brother played a little acoustic guitar. He strummed a little bit, and so he used to show me some chords. And I started taking lessons, like with the jazz teacher I was telling you about. And it's something I always want to do. You're a kid, you can see concerts and see Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath and stuff like that. So I grew up in a good time where the music was, you can't beat that stuff. Like bands, there's concerts. Wasn't, I don't want to put anything down, but I mean now it's different with the music scene. So that kind of helped pave the way. And my teacher was a jazz teacher, and I was into different advanced stuff and listened to I got into other kind of music, not just rock. I was listening to like some classical stuff and some fusion kind of stuff, and went to MI in Hollywood, California, with a honors graduate in Hollywood, which opened my mind to other stuff. But I've always been writing music probably since the beginning. I mean, I've always wrote like riffs, and then when you get into bands, you write together. Then I started doing my own solo stuff, do my own my solo work. I've been doing that for years now. I have 11 albums out, and the new one's Reset, the new album Reset, which basically I wrote during the pandemic, and a little before that I kind of started it, but wrote 23 tunes, and it was hard to pick the 12. I mean, I guess it wasn't that hard to pick the 12, but there was because I want to cap it at 12. I don't want to do like 15 songs. So like I had one song I was like, oh, I want to put this song on. I want to put this one more song on it, but maybe the next album I'll put on there, So yeah, so then I waited to put it out because all this shit going on. Oh, sorry, not sure.
That's okay.
All
Be yourself, man. If it happens,
all
it
this
happens.
all this stuff going on in the world, I waited to put it out because like the Fire Thing came out 2018, which Fire Thing was the previous album. I usually put an album once or twice. Once a year, or every 2 years, I put an album out. This is the longest, 2018, 2022. I basically was gonna put it out 2020, but all the stuff going on, I decided to wait because it'd be like, you'd never play anywhere, or so I decided to hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
So November 11, 2022, the album came out, and I released it in Hawaii, in Kauai. I played a couple of shows there, and on Veterans Day, I put it out that night and just started promoting it, and here we are now, talking about it. I'm really excited about it. I think it's my best album.
I was telling you earlier, as soon as our mutual friend Billy sent me the digital copy, and he's always sending me stuff and wanting my opinion whether I want to have somebody on the show. And as soon as I heard it, I messaged him back. I'm like, man, I gotta have this guy on my show.
Thanks, man. You're awesome. I wish I had more people in the world like you that in that kind of music. I mean, there is a lot of people that into that kind of stuff is tapping into it. But that's great to hear. I mean, getting things. It's hard to get stuff out there these days. So it's good that people like you that are doing this kind of thing, and the podcasts. And so yeah, I wanted to reach many. I have a lot of your fans. I'm sure you have a lot of people that follow you and stuff. And
Yeah, all 10 of them will probably listen to it.
well, maybe those 10 will tell their friends.
So.
Like 20, like 30. No, no, but yeah. So yeah, Billy's awesome. He's great. He's a really good PR guy. I'm really.
He's a great guy.
This is the first album with him. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, like as soon as he put it out there, it's like they got next day, I got all these links, and like, oh my god, it's like I trying to keep up with all this stuff. And he was interview the next week. I was like, oh, awesome. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you like it. And with songs, I mean, you probably listen to it more, but is there a certain thing that stood out with you, like certain because it moves around a lot, it goes from like classical tunings, like a heavy song into a
Yeah. Well, what's the B song?
Wait, the bee
Eater, I think was that what it's called?
Bee Eater.
Yeah, Bee Eater. Yeah, that.
How'd
you make that buzzing sound anyway?
That's a bee, but a true story is we had chocolate covered, I think we had chocolate covered coffee beans or something in a container. And I one day I was just like I put like, my hand, I put it, put it in my thing hand, and all of a sudden I felt something in my mouth. A freaking bee stung my tongue.
No.
The bee got inside I don't know how it got in there. There was a cover on it. So it got in the freaking chocolate covered coffee beans, and I ate the freaking thing, and I got like a bee sting on my tongue. I'm not allergic to bees, but I haven't got stung to bee in years. I was like, shit, I hope I'm not allergic to bees. And,
No.
I have a picture, but I didn't put it in the album though. A picture of me, my tongue open with the big. I should probably post that sometime. but but so that is a bee in the beginning. It's like a bees, and there's that song actually. It's kind of heavy, but we were staying at this cabin in Utica, and this bird was like doing this whistle. And like it was every single day I heard this bird whistle, and that song has a like it's like a little repeating from the bird. Like I remember I was writing that song. I remember hearing that bird melody, and I kind of put it in the song. I kind of was playing. I kind of mimicked the. That's a bird melody. So the song is like built. Sometimes I don't know exactly. I know exactly how it's gonna go in my head, but sometimes when you're done with it, it's like something that goes a little farther than you think it's gonna go. It's gonna go a little more. So I'm happy with a lot of the stuff. I mean, some things kind of evolved cool. I was like, because I do spontaneous writing. Well, I kind of like I have the structure. Then I'll go in the studio. I'll just add stuff to it. Then when one leads to another, then I put the keyboard. I do everything myself. I do all the drum programming, the keyboards, the bass, just vocals, all the guitar, and I do my own recording and mixing. Then I'll send it to the drummer, Patrick Johansson. That was Yngwie's drummer for 14 years, and he's amazing, and he does all the drums and stuff on it. He'll take the program drums off and play to the click.
Wow.
That's how we did that. It's time consuming. Like to record, just to write it, record it, and mix it, and I send it off to get mastered to John Cunabirdy is the mastering engineer. He did Satriani stuff. He's actually pretty popular. He's in San Francisco, and he mastered it. He does an amazing job. But I like to do that because it's kind of I can spend more time with that at home.
Each song, is there like a specific purpose behind each one, or a specific message behind each one?
The Bee Eater, pretty much that one. There's a song Wasted Time. Well, not specifically me, but I don't, people like wasting time, but a lot of the stuff is personal, like maybe like true experiences. the truth, the truth basically, that's more stuff going on in the world. Like, nobody's telling, like, people don't always tell the truth. I'm not a political person at all. But you know how the government, at the time of the pandemic, it seems like it's like, you can't believe anything that's going on. I mean, there's hints towards that because that was the time I was writing this stuff. So like I would get like the true thing came up and then like, silent weapon. I don't want to get like talker, like especially in music business, people always like talk and
Yeah.
it comes down to it, where are they? Like, they're just, so there's a lot of stuff is true experiences I write about.
So
Some things are a little embellished or some things are happening in the world, but most time it's true things that happen. Instrumentals, yeah, like Beat Eater, I was saying before. Let's see what else. The dance one, I kind of wanted, I wanted a song where people could dance to. You can almost put anything on top of that stuff, almost. And people are going to dance in a club with it. So I figured maybe put shred guitar stuff over that kind of beat.
what's this
Some,
about an elephant in the backyard?
all right. When I was a kid, when I was a kid, I always wanted an elephant in our backyard. Like I tell my mom, oh, I want to get, because I like elephants. I like elephants and monkeys are my favorite. Up, oh, you want an elephant in the backyard? And then we laugh about it. Mostly it's true experiences I write about, or things. This album was some things in the world, and just things, some things in general. But usually it's, obviously close to the heart thing stuff. It's not like just made up. I have things to say. I sing in the album, 6 tracks. I'm not a singer. I'm more of a guitarist that sings. Like, as for expression, it's like, what I mean? Like with Hendrix or like Lou Reed or something like that, where they just like, they'll have some words. And I'm not an opera singer. I don't know if I want to be.
You'd like to express with the guitar more than the singing.
Yeah, the singing is like it's extra. I mean, I like to have vocals and some stuff. At least even a few songs. I just kind of, I don't know. I think it's a little more boring for me if it's just I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of instrumental music. A lot of
Really?
it. I mean, guitar music these days as much. When I was a kid, yeah, I listened to Yngwie stuff and Racer X. This is when I was learning, when I was growing up, I was learning music and um I like Aldemio stuff, his earlier stuff. But these days, I'm listening to a lot of guitar instrumental stuff. I like classical music. I like that stuff a lot. I was always into violin. My dad was a violin player before he became an engineer. He was like a professional violinist before he was an engineer.
Oh wow.
That sound always attracted me. I like classical violin, like Mozart, Paganini, Beethoven. I'm into that kind of stuff. I'm into technical kind of music. Of course, into, I love Yes, and I love Pink Floyd, Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. All those bands I love. I love Prince, Michael Jackson. I hop around music. Like we were talking about before, and I like, if it has a good, nice melody and feel into it, I'll listen to it. I don't listen to rap music. I don't listen to country stuff. Bluegrass stuff is cool, but regular country, I don't listen to. I mean, I teach guitar, like I was saying too before, so I learn that stuff for students. So bring in anything, could be anything under the sun. I show them how to play it because that's, learning music that you love is important for your style.
Are we talking new country or old country or both?
I mean, like, like, I mean, older country. I don't know. The new country's more rock with this with country lyrics. I don't listen to that stuff unless I'm learning it for somebody. I'll listen to more intricate stuff if somebody brings it in, but I'm not really into, like, if somebody's bringing in, like Chet Atkins, he's amazing, but it's not really country.
Yeah, well,
Regular,
Chet
like,
Atkins, I guess you could say he's kind of got some rockabilly to him.
yeah, like I'm not into the cowboy country stuff. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's not for me. Like, I could write that stuff. It's easy. I teach students all the time how to play country stuff. But nowadays it is like rock.
Yeah, I'd say it's pop music with a country twang to it.
Yeah, it's cool. Some of the guitar stuff is amazing. Some of the guitar soloing and stuff,
Yeah,
and like
but it's just not country, man.
I know. I mean, like way back, I'd say way back, yeah, but I sure it'd probably better, like I don't know, earlier Elvis with Scotty Moore, probably. You know what I mean? Like I don't listen to Elvis, but I'm saying, but like the guitar, I'm pretty versatile. That's why my music is pretty much jumps around a lot because I'm even going to all this learning over the years. I was open to everything:
Yeah.
Spanish music, classical, rock, heavy rock. I don't listen to death metal at all, but I learned that stuff for students. But I'm open to everything, so my music is moves around. Every album is a different thing. It's like just I like blues, you know. Blues is great. I mean, I
Love
won't
the blues.
I won't stick to the same. You know what I mean? Like my blues will go off in other things because it's like, especially the song "Reset." It's like a bluesy thing, but it kind of goes off into a more fusiony kind of thing. It goes into like the end kind of picks up the speed and it kind of is more fusion stuff. I love that stuff, but I like to take it and do it in my way. Take it
Yeah.
maybe a little farther where it's, I wouldn't develop a blues album. I wouldn't feel like I'd want to do a blues album where it's just like the typical, just a shuffle all the way through. It just seems like it's too easy. Easy in a way where it's, I'm not saying blues is easy. I'm saying, but in a way, it's just the rhythm, just dance, dance, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. When you go through those times in your life where you're kind of into something for a while and then you get into something else, so you're always changing, maybe even say maturing each album.
yes, definitely maturing. I get better at recording and production, writing. The music stuff, like I like Indian music too. And like there's some Indian influence in some of it. Like there was when I first discovering it, an Indian restaurant. I mean, I've heard Indian music before, but it's like an Indian restaurant waiting for my Indian food, hearing the music playing. Sorry about the interview. You're probably like, oh God. But anyways, but that caught my attention. Some of the Indian stuff, like the sitars, and I got into that stuff. So you're gonna hear them in certain parts of my albums where it's sitar stuff, or in the guitar, I'll kind of emulate some sitar sounds, like in the album Chameleon, where I have like other, Electric City, where I have cruising across the Mojave, and I have Indian-esque stuff in it, and I have a song called Camel Ride, and it's got Indian. It's like almost like a 10-minute song, like Indian stuff, and but yeah, I love world music too, like I think maybe some Chinese stuff, maybe. But yeah, I've always attracted that stuff, and it comes out in my music. You'll hear it. Sometimes by accident, sometimes I'll purposely do that. But this new album, it does move around. There's some blues on it. There's some straight ahead rock. There's a ballad, Wasted Time on there.
Yeah.
I'm happy with love the guitar solo. I'm happy with it. People glaze over the album. There's somebody that really listens to it. I love that. Like people review it, they might just put it on. Oh, he's a shredder, another shredder guy. And when people really listen to it, there's a lot of melody in it. Melody is really important. It's I think the most important thing. Melody and feel, and obviously rhythm. But like, it's not just shredding. Like it's even there in the shred, there's melodic contour to it.
Right.
That's really important. I hope people really listen to it. I mean, you keep listening. I know you listen to it, but you have to listen to it. Some of the interviewers or people that review it will just put it on quick and they won't hear high singing and they'll be like, oh, he's not great. I mean, I write what I like. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
impress. I mean,
But that's the way
besides
you should
songs,
write, is stuff that you like.
yes, and hopefully people will like it too.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna get haters, but people that in live, I have a more harder edge. The music is a little harder edge live, like a more aggressive live. So it might be a little more raw, like some of the even the earlier stuff where we kind of like live. I'll put the energy into it. That's the most important thing too. So like it might not come across on the album as heavy, but this new album there's some heavier stuff on it though. Like Beat Eater, one you mentioned you liked.
Yeah.
The Silent Weapon. There's some crazy stuff in there, and like some of it, I have to really, it's gonna take a while to get down live. Like the song "Dance," there's some crazy, insane stuff in that song. But that's probably next project. My winter project is to learn that song. It sounds funny, like learn the song. I have to like my stuff. I had to, it takes a little while to like because I'll improvise a lot of this stuff and then go back and learn what I did.
Well, the beat or kind of reminded me a little bit of Flight of the Bumblebee, but cooler.
Well, maybe yeah, because of bees. But I do that song live too, Fly Blown Bee. But like the bee, they were just happened to be because of that bee biting my tongue because of eating the chocolate covered like coffee beans, and so that happened during the time I was writing the song, and that bird I was telling you about, the bird when I was away, it was like the chirping. I used that melody, so that was like things that were happening in my life. So every writer they write like snapshots. Like every song is a snapshot in your life, pretty much. Like every album is a snapshot. Like the album. Like when I listen to the album, I can kind of picture. You kind of go back. That's what I love about writing. That's why I love doing it. I just, it's, I don't know. To me, to me, a musician's not considered. I mean, I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm saying is a true musician that somebody can write their own music, do their own, that can they'll write music, and you know, that's me.
So you said you play Flight of the Bumblebee in concert?
Sometimes I did it in Hawaii. I did it.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a track that I do it.
So how fast can you do it?
I do that. I do the speed of the song. I don't. I'm not a competition kind of guy, but I'm like those guys on YouTube that
Man, it's crazy.
300 beats a minute.
How? How is that humanly possible?
I don't know. It's I do it. I like the speed of the song. I mean, it sounds good the way it is. I mean, I do it with the track sometimes. I mean, I do it with the track, and it's on YouTube. You can see me playing at YouTube with the track. I mean, I did my own track. I did my own version of it, but I mean, it's the same version, but I did my own. I recorded the backing stuff.
Yeah.
So like you can see on YouTube. So yeah, I do it. It's fun. It's not that hard because it's just like, chromatically, you know what I mean? It's the speed comes natural to me. Like my guitar speed comes natural. So it's not like I'm not, trying to struggle through it, but like music to me is not like a competition. People, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's fun to
It's
watch.
fun. No, it's fun. No, it's fun. Yeah, yes, you can challenge yourself with that.
Yeah.
And try to do 200 beats per minute or 300 beats a minute. But I just like, the song, and it's fun to play live, and people find it impressive. So it's
Well, as fast as some of those guys are, that is pretty impressive.
yeah, it is definitely. I mean, it's definitely cool like that. So yeah, it's fun.
I couldn't even tap my fingers that fast.
Do you play guitar too?
I play the radio.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. It's a
um,
lot. It takes a lot of work. I mean, to be the kind of music I do, it takes, you gotta play every day. I play every day,
yeah,
and you gotta, it's, you gotta put your life is into it. It's not just, you can't just do it occasionally. It's like your whole life is involved in it, which is fine. It's always what I wanted to do. So it's not something it's not a job to me. It's just something teaching is my day job, but I'm still playing guitar.
I fiddle with it every once in a while. I wouldn't call myself a player whatsoever. I know little bits and pieces of songs, and I just do it every once in a while just to have fun. It's
That's
relaxing.
all. That's all to do. You know what I mean?
Half the songs that I do know, I don't even play them correctly. So, but I don't. Who cares?
No, but as long as you're doing it if you learn it by ear, it's important because you kind of like you're developing your ear, and then, like, back in the day there was no YouTube, so you have to like kind of get the radio, listen to it, and then you go to the concert, you go, oh, that's how he's playing that. I still do it for students. I'll learn songs, and I'll just sometimes you can't hear certain things like that, but if you're playing it wrong, I mean, or it can be in the wrong spot, which is fine as long as it sounds like it.
Yeah.
You know, you can slow it down and like get every note and kind of like the thing with YouTube by slowing stuff down is good because you can hear it at slower speed and just kind of get the notes and it's so doing by tab, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'd have to do it over and over and over and over again to really pick it up. That's
Yeah, if you
why.
slow it down, it's kind of, you can easily like just do it one note, a few notes at a time, or just take little sections of it. Just kind of like instead of
Yeah.
learning the whole entire freaking Fly the Bumblebee, just like kind of just like listen to the first. You stop. You slow it down.
Right.
Yeah, so you gotta. Yeah, so that's important with that.
What's been the biggest hurdle you've had in your life?
Um, well, in my life, like my dad passed away. I was like 17, I'd say
Mhm.
18. He was supportive and stuff, and that's the big thing, and I've had, there's personal stuff. I mean, you go through some personal things right now, some personal things, but I don't really, talk about too much. I'm good health, knock on wood, and stuff like that. Music is the music I choose to do is not a downhill thing. It's like uphill. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard work to get people to hear, and to make a decent amount of living. I do music full time, and that's why I teach too. And it's like, it can be it's not easy doing this
Mhm.
kind of music. It's like, you know, it's there's less people that's not the mainstream kind of stuff. So it's not
Yeah.
really, I don't say it's a hurdle, but it's not a downhill thing. It's a roller coaster ride, you know, trying to get in the right shows and that kind of stuff. But I had some personal things. No, nothing really major. I mean, this except for like losing my dad and my brother. His name is in the, if you have the CD, it's dedicated to him. Nicholas is my brother. He
Mhm.
passed away in 2020 of cancer.
Oh man,
That was
sorry.
really hard. He was a huge supporter of my music. Like he was the one actually when I was a kid. I was listening to Black Sabbath and I was into listen to Ozzy, and he would tap my door. Oh, check out Chick Corea with Al Di Meola. I was like, oh, who's that? Then all of a sudden Al Di Meola with Chick Corea. I'd bring it to my teacher. My teacher would be like, oh my god. I was like, you want me to show you how to play that? And like that got me into. He was like, show me like he'd bring in Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff, Santana, all these bootleg stuff, and that got me into like really like more progressive stuff.
Mhm.
And going to see Yes when I was a kid, like I sorry to go off topic, but this my sister and her husband, they got us tickets for Yes when I was like
Mhm.
13 years old. So that kind of like, so, but yeah, but like my brother passing away, that was kind of tough. He was a big supporter, and he was an artist, professional artist.
Um,
old
Cool.
school artist where he drew. He didn't use Photoshop. He drew all by hand, and but he was, yeah. That was really tough. Losing the brother, and that was a hurdle in 2020. But I was, working on just work on music and the album. And his name is in there. His pictures in the album too. So
Um,
if people, if they go out and they buy the plastic version of the album, they buy the actual hard copy, they'll see the stuff in there. Which I wish that people get the CD because, you know, that people would not know that. I think on the actual press release that you have does mention that, but
yeah.
yeah, actually, press release does mention that, but the people that buy the CD will know, but the people that just buy or just listen to it on Spotify, they're not gonna know the behind the album. So it's dedicated to him. So that was a hurdle. I mean, but you got to keep going. So it's just like something that just happens in your life. You kind of just have to move on. But thank God, no major stuff, except for no major stuff in the music where it's I have my voice play, my hands always good shape in my playing. I never had. I don't want to jinx myself. You know what I mean?
Let's knock on wood here.
Knock on wood, because yeah.
Yeah. What do you use to inspire you or to keep you positive when you feel like everything's going to crap?
Well, the inspiration can be from new music that I come up with that I'm excited about, or people, the reaction. Like, it's amazing when I love it when you say you're like, oh, you put you put the album on, you loved it, and you contacted Billy right away. That's, to me, it's like hearing that stuff is like, that's basically keeps you going. Like, people that like love your music and they buy your stuff and all that stuff keeps me going. And there's days where it's, like, it's not easy, if you're trying to get some shows and it's tough, and then if you do a show where not many people come, or like those things are hit or miss. I just did a great show down here in upstate New York in a nice theater. That was great. People loved it. Great response. I was on performing. That keeps you going, and like just played in Hawaii, and the crowd, everybody was there. It was just like the perfect crowd. Like, I played for 3 hours.
Mhm.
Everybody stayed all the way through. They came up afterwards. They bought CDs. They signed the CDs, and that stuff is it's fueling. I mean, like, people love people listen to your music, and you're proud of it. But that's a long-winded answer. You might have to like slow down your recorder.
Snip, snip, snip.
I'm like, I'm like, I'm like freaking.
Well,
I go on and on. I gotta.
well, if I could compare it, I'll do an edit in an interview, and it'd be an interview that I'm just was really really excited about. I put my heart into this edit. It's taken me all day long basically to get it done, put it all together, get it uploaded, and then I put it out there. Hardly anybody watches it, and it's deflating. And now I won't lie, there's times, man, I just want to give up. Like,
Yeah,
what's
it
the point?
happens. It happens where, like, you post something online and like 20 people. It's like, but there's 5,000 people on my Facebook. It's like, why is it's like, sometimes I think Facebook hides stuff, but if you
Yeah, they do.
advertise, if you advertise stuff, but yeah, so I have days like that too, where I'm just like, wow. I mean, it's not easy. It's like, you gotta really love it. You gotta love it. You must love it.
Well, the thing that keeps me going, I mean, I've been through a lot, and I know there's people out there that's gone through either the same thing, something similar, or even a whole lot worse. And I want them to have hope. But I guess what takes me that step further is when I'll get a message from someone that says, "Thank you for bringing so and so onto your show. They really motivated me," or then I was ready to give up and I'm going to keep going. And I think, wow, even if it's just one person out there that gets the message,
Right.
then it must be worth it. 'Cause I don't know.
It's,
I don't know
it's
who
like
I'm helping.
yeah, it's like with teaching, like like teaching guitar for since I was like 13 years old or 4 no. Teaching no, since I was 15 teaching guitar, but just like helping people out and seeing them progress and seeing them like, doing really good things and like some that might mention or whatever, but that kind of stuff is rewarding too, like,
Yeah.
like helping people out with the guitar and
I mean,
so
it's not about me in the sense of I'm helping somebody else, but it is about me when I get those messages. And it sounds selfish, but when I get those
no, it's
messages,
good.
it makes me feel good, and I look
That's the
forward
same
to
thing.
that.
Same to me too. Like people, somebody email me say, "Wow, your stuff is great. You're my like." It's like some of the favorite stuff, and people buy. That's what keeps me going. So that's the
Man.
short answer.
It's
2 minutes
it's
later.
other people. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And even though you're writing your music for you,
Yep. I gotta be
you
happy
have to.
first.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the only way
Not
you're going to
happy.
keep going.
The audience will pick up on it. If you're not happy with yourself, the audience will know that they'll. If you're on stage, kind of like not sure, the audience picks it up. You got to be
Yeah.
in their
It's
faces.
it's like when I draw or I paint, if it's something that I really want to do, then I put my all into it and I'm
Yep.
really happy with it. And
Right.
then when somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, can you do this for me?" I have to force myself to do it.
It's different, yeah, because you're
Yeah.
outside your thing.
I
You're outside
mean,
your comfort of creativity. Like I play in people,
yeah.
I do stuff, and it's different. But yeah, but you get good ideas sometimes because it's like you might not think of certain things that you might hear, or that. Well, for you it's visual because you're painting or drawing, but you might get a different. May go outside the box a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
So it's good to be open to everything like that. Go
Well,
awesome, yeah, it's fun. It's fun time. I mean, um, yeah. You have other stuff too. I definitely used the footage from earlier too. We talked about.
oh yeah. Well, man,
Had
yeah, I
fun. We,
feel,
we definitely do this again. I mean, definitely.
yeah, yeah,
You
we can
definitely
do
let
this
me know when you
again.
want to do it. Yeah, definitely. If you find out like like if you have more questions about like other albums, this is 11th album, 11th solo album, so everything is you might check out the Far Within too. Like the Reset is a new one, but the previous one, I'm happy. I mean, happy with all of them, but that one, good response in that album too.
Yeah.
It's maybe up your alley too. It's got a lot of progressive things on it. And this new album, we're working on more videos. We're working on some full length videos. We got just a teaser right now, but the video we filmed a lot of stuff in out in California, so we're just getting the editing together. So
Oh,
so
cool.
look out for that and visit MikeCampese.com for anything like to buy the album to shows to any kind of merch. Everything's on there.
Do you have social media?
Yes, Instagram, Facebook's under my name. I have official Facebook. I have Twitter, just Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
I will put all the links in the
Thanks,
description.
thanks. You're awesome, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well,
And you
thank you.
definitely, anytime I like to be on the show, I'd be loved it. I mean, you're cool. Texas, everybody in Texas is awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
not just Texas. I'm saying, what I mean. People seem more chill. They're more friendly in Texas.
I only like Texas, so
It seems like I hit off at people from Texas about it easily.
we're real friendly until we see a license plate that says California on it, and we get a little.
Yeah, California. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a certain thing. I know exactly what you mean, but
Man,
to try
man.
and think that.
Hey, man, seriously, thank you so much for
Oh no,
spending
Tommy, you're
time here,
welcome.
man.
Welcome. I'm so glad you like it, and I hope your audience likes it. And feel free to send a message, and we can do it sometime again if ever you want.
Thank you again. I also want to thank all of you out there. If you are new to the channel, I appreciate you stopping by. Please come back, hit that subscribe button for my regulars. I appreciate y'all because you make it possible for me to do this. So until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.